This is Markin Out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. Follow on Twitter. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. Marking Out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. Brennan likes fisting. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. We're marking out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans.
Welcome to Markin Out, Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. This is episode 781. Thanks for listening. Make sure that you are subscribed and downloading wherever you are listening to podcasts, such as on Spotify. Give us a 5-star rating to go with that 5-star frog splash. Buy a t-shirt over at prowrestlingtees.com/markinout. Hey, give us a like on Facebook. Also, give us a follow over on TikTok at Markinout, and on Twitter at Markinout, on Instagram at Markinout11, and subscribe on YouTube as well. Markinout.com. Make sure you check me out on all social media platforms. Dave the Rave at David PTDPT. Follow Chris at CMSweeney85 and Chris Sweendog. And you can follow Brandon at BTTG161. Brandon, how are you?
I am doing awesome as always. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. How was your week?
It was fine. I had made lasagna this week, which I don't really like lasagna. You like lasagna or what?
Love lasagna.
But I don't use ricotta cheese, rigotte, or whatever they say. But
That's
yeah, I
okay.
don't like lasagna. And then I made a sort of taco pasta sort of gimmick, all one pot, which I typically don't do with noodles, but I figured I'll try it, and I did it. It's decent.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, I went to a steakhouse for my mom's birthday, and I've been craving steak, but the steak was dry-aged, and I don't like dry-aged steak.
That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine at first. First of all, we ordered it medium rare. It came out just, like, straight up rare, which is, like, pushing it for me. But just the dry age, like, it's fine at first, but then, like, once I keep eating it, it's like, I can't do it. It's like gorgonzola cheese to me. It's just, like, it's got that funk to it, you know?
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
But how about your week?
My week was good. It was good. You know, busy.
Yeah, well, I figured since it was the debut show on Fox for Mexico for AAA, we would cover it. We would go down just quickly. Rey Mysterio opened the show, hyped up the event, hyped up AAA, and then joined Corey Graves and JBL on commentary, who I honestly don't think... I don't know if either of them, or all three of them, well, Ray we know was in Mexico. I don't know if Corey and JBL were even in the same room together for commentary. But it was very weird. But this was overall, it was a very, like, rushed sort of show. Like, you open up, you had Mr. Iguana, Nino Hamburguesa, La Parka pick up the victory over Los Vipers. Very, very fast match. And it's like, okay, maybe they were just, like... doing like a quick thing to open with. You go to the next match. Lady Flammer picks up the victory over Lady Shani. Laidra gets involved. Lola Vice then makes the save. And then on the other side, when the referee is distracted with that, Lady Maravilla gets involved. Very quick match. After that, you had El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. come out, lay out a challenge. And then a masked man who, like, the crowd didn't seem to know, commentary didn't seem to know, shows up. I'm literally marking out right away. Like, spoiler alert, I'll talk about it later as well. It was Santos Escobar. And I don't know how they didn't realize it was him. He was in a Phantasma mask. Like, it was literally the same mask that he used in Mexico. Or one of the same masks that he used in Mexico. It's the same mask that we saw him use on NXT all those years back. So... that was weird to me that they didn't, like, pop or anything. And then he unmasked. That's and people, weird. Like, they reacted once he unmasked. But I think that was his first... forgot. I don't know. That was his first appearance there maybe in 7 years, I think. And then, of course, the last time that we saw him on WWE programming, it was Worlds Collide back in June, where he and Legado beat Dr. Wagner Jr., El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., Psycho Clown, and Pagano. So
That's crazy. It's been so long already.
yeah, but it was overall weird. You had earlier in the night, Penta had a backstage interview. I'm almost certain it was like he was hyping up the main event, and then he said that he has a major announcement next week. I think it was like groundbreaking, earth-shattering, something like that. I assume it'll be related to Rey de Reyes, with him teaming up with his brother, Fenix, for Lucha Bros. I don't know if that's the case, though. We'll find out next week. And then in the main event, we saw Vikingo pick up the victory over El Grande Americano to become #1 contender. I think the most notable thing to mention from this was this match had the most time. The other matches were like quick. This match, the most noteworthy thing was El Grande Americano had that metal plate, and he went to use it and then chose to throw it down instead. He didn't load the mask, and then Dorian Roldan got involved right in front of the referee. The referee kicks him from ringside, and when the referee was dealing with that, El Grande Americano decided to go outside to go get that metal plate. He went to put it in his mask and then almost stopped him. I completely forgot about that from the last show for like a hot second. Then he was like, when he was outside, I was like, oh, I'm almost certain Omos is about to show up. And that eventually led to Vikingo getting that 630. So Vikingo gets the victory with the help of Omos. And then afterwards, El Grande Americano did have, I think he must have had the loaded mask, took out Vikingo, tried to take out Omos, but he got put down. And then Rey Mysterio ran down with a kendo stick to make the save and literally held them back with a kendo stick against Omos. I kind of feel like that was goofy, but Dorian Roldan was like backing, I'm just going to say El Ojo off. So what we thought was once going to be, or what I thought was once going to be AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus El Ojo, maybe now seems like it'll be Rey Mysterio and El Grande Americano. I don't know. I'm not sure. But overall, I enjoyed the show. A lot of people, I guess fans of AAA, fans of Mexican wrestling, did not enjoy the show. But we'll see. I thought it was fine. But moving over to Monday Night Raw, kicked off with Gunther. He ran down his accolades. He said that his future in WWE looks bright. It'll lead him right back to the World Heavyweight Championship. He's declaring for the Royal Rumble. And then AJ Styles interrupted. And he asked for a rematch at the Royal Rumble. And Gunther's like, I didn't plan on pulling double duty, so no. And then AJ kind of goads him into trying to get Gunther to accept. Gunther still said no. And then Gunther thinks about it and he goes, you know what? I'll do it. I'll do the match, but you have to put your career on the line. I want the answer by the end of the night. And then later on, AJ Styles told Adam Pearce, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, he spoke to his wife and she gave him clearance.
I have to assume AJ Styles wins. The IWC seems to think he's going to AEW.
Do they really?
I mean, his contract is up in February. Even though I think he said it already that it's at the end of the year.
And I'm pretty positive he already said that he's planning to retire with WWE.
But again, that's one of those never say nevers. And of course, we have to put a pin in this whole topic because Nick Aldis invited him to SmackDown. So I'll talk about that momentarily.
We'll see what happens. Next up, you had Becky Lynch pick up the victory over Maxine Dupree to retain her championship. This match, it was good. It was good.
The first thing that we need to note is that Natalya was ringside with Maxine. And I thought this match was good, like you said. I think, we saw Becky Lynch take the turnbuckle off. The turnbuckle pad, I should say. Maxine, because of that spot, had control of the match. But Becky Lynch eventually reversed an ankle lock, almost sent Maxine into that turnbuckle, the exposed turnbuckle. And then Maxine sent Becky into it. She got the kick, and then you think she's about to win. Natalya gets Becky Lynch's foot on the rope, and that breaks the pin, and then distracts Maxine, and you get a manhandle slam to win.
What a jerk.
All part of the
What a
training,
jerk.
perhaps.
I mean, I don't know if it's all part of the training, but she definitely beat her down after that.
Yeah, which
And-
and Maxine almost fought back, but she got hit with that discus clariot, the discus clothesline. And I feel like the beatdown portion kind of went on way too long.
Okay, why?
I just feel like they even went back to it, so I feel like I don't know. I feel like that could have been a little shorter, but at the same time, I guess they really wanted to drill it in that Natty, did what she did.
Yeah. And I think that was, I don't know, is that Natty? Or Natalia?
You could assume we'll maybe see a sort of transition on American TV now.
Yeah, I guess we'll start to see that switch over.
After that, we had Jey Uso come out, declare for the Royal Rumble, which New Day was pissed off about, and Kofi Kingston demanded a tag title match, and Adam Pearce was like, sure, you'll get it. However, it's going to be a fatal four-way to find the number one contenders next week on Monday Night Raw. You'll be in that. We don't know the other teams yet, I don't think, but I don't need Jey Uso to win the Royal Rumble again, no offense.
No, that we do not need. Against
I saw betting
all.
odds are on Roman Reigns, and I certainly don't need that.
That's what I heard too. I'm betting on Braun Breaker.
I mean,
betting on-
I picked LA Knight, and at this point, doesn't seem likely.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't seem likely. But talking about tag teams, we had a trios matchup. Rey Mysterio, Penta, and Dragon Lee picked up the victory over The Vision. It was definitely a good matchup between all of them, but I love the crowd reaction to this entire match.
I liked Adam Pearce being out there to keep an eye on the Vision and make sure they don't do what they keep doing. Paul Heyman, though, at one point argued with Adam Pearce. Austin Theory caught Rey Mysterio 619, and Penta ends up tagging in. He hit the Penta driver, which Bronson Reed broke up. You had that move gimmick, which I kind of really don't like. There were a lot of chaotic spots in this where the referee really had like very little control. And then at one point, again, you have Paul Heyman and Adam Pearce get into it. And Logan Paul gave Austin Theory the brass knucks, but the referee sees it. Adam Pearce ends up taking them. And then Paul Heyman distracted Adam Pearce, which then Rey Mysterio got to use the brass knucks. And then Penta hit that Mexican Destroyer and got the victory there.
Yeah.
Very, very chaotic.
It was a good matchup. I liked everything that they did. I thought that it was very interesting with the entire inclusion. I think Logan Paul is doing phenomenal.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people, part-timer. Wrong.
I think he's been on WWE television for quite a few
I think every week.
shows. Yeah. Not really.
And then
much
later
of a
on, you had
part-timer.
Paul Heyman chased Adam Pearce and said that everyone is going to miss him when he's gone, and told him that he should really take the phone call that was ringing on his cell phone. Whoever it is, we don't know, but Paul Heyman on Logan Paul's podcast said what? That it's the last person that Adam Pearce would want to speak to or something like that?
Could it be Eric Bischoff?
I don't...
Maybe it was Tony Khan?
I think like the most, which is not an answer that I would want, but like the most obvious choice would be The Rock. Given that he's like the head, he's on the board or whatever.
It could be. We're leading into WrestleMania time.
But then
I
there's
saw some people
obviously
bring up
other
that it
people
could
who
be
think
Vince
it's
McMahon, which I don't believe.
Yeah, I would really, really hope that it's not.
Yeah, I don't believe it's him. It's possible. It's potentially it could be Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, that's also a possibility, but I don't see why Brock would have power over Pierce.
Yeah.
There's also a possibility because of who's involved with all of this. Because later, Paul Heyman, he spoke to Paul Heyman and he said, I want to see Braun Breaker at Monday Night Raw next week so we could smooth things over. There's a possibility, a small, tiny possibility, that it might be Scott Steiner.
Oh, maybe.
What a reaction.
Yeah, it was kind of like a cough, controlled cough.
It sounded more like, oh, yeah, I could see that. It sounded like a golf clap of an agreement.
Yeah.
After that, we saw Rio come out, and they said that they found out both of them will be in the Royal Rumble. Liv Morgan and Roxanne came out, and Liv said that eventually Rhea Ripley's going to turn on Io Sky, just like she's done with everybody. And then Roxanne announced that they're also in the Royal Rumble, as is Raquel Rodriguez. And it seemed like Rhea Ripley was trying to maybe sort of plant seeds of doubt in the heads of the Judgment Day. But Raquel Rodriguez showed up, which started a chain of them all basically just taking out Rio. So
yeah.
I would really prefer champions not be in the Rumble, and I just wish they had their own matches.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I don't think that it has to happen, especially when you have such a large roster.
Storyline-wise, though, it kind of all makes sense, but they're also, like, they're using the Royal Rumble to do other storylines. Like, afterwards, we saw Asuka blame Kyrie for them not getting the title shots.
Mm-hmm.
And so that it almost hurt her as much as it hurt when Io turned on her, which I thought was really funny to really put the blame on Kyrie. And yeah, Kyrie said that she's going to make sure to do whatever it takes, basically, to make sure that Asuka wins the Royal Rumble. Kyrie's not in it. Asuka's in the Rumble.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool, and especially with her reaction with, like, don't make me yell and stuff like that. Like, it's just hilarious.
We also found out that Bayley and Lyra Valkyria are in the Royal Rumble. So that's like one giant grouping of the tag team titles for Monday Night Raw, at least.
Yeah, that's true. Next up, you had El Grande Americano pick up the victory over El Grande Americano. But it was by referee stoppage.
Javon Evans picked up the victory over El Grande Americano?
Oh,
no.
There you go.
El Grande Americano picked up the victory over Javon Evans.
Oh, yeah, because of the injury.
Yeah, which during the actual match, you had Javon having to dodge Rayo and Bravo. But during the break, we didn't see what actually happened. Javon got injured somewhere, and the referee called for the match. So hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, I saw somewhere that they were just concerned over potential concussion too, but he's okay. So we'll see. Brandon totally set me up with that one too.
I mean,
totally
not
set
really.
Me up with the script on that one. Kayfabe, breaking kayfabe on that one.
Main event saw CM Punk pick up the victory over Finn Balor to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. At least we got Finn Balor's classic theme song.
Yeah, too bad he couldn't hear his entrance.
Yeah, I guess it was super loud there in Northern Ireland and Belfast, so he missed his cues a little bit. But I think this match, it was nice to see like a little bit of the roles reversed with face and heel. I mean, CM Punk was cheered at times too, but I think it was nice to see Balor cheered again. And honestly, I think this was exactly what you could have hoped for with a championship main event, especially with CM Punk and Finn Balor.
Yeah, I think that it was a solid main event, and it made it realistic that you thought that maybe Finn Balor could actually do it at moments, especially being that it was his hometown crowd. And to be honest, I wouldn't have minded if Finn Balor actually picked up the victory. I wouldn't have minded seeing that.
Overall, I wouldn't have minded. But I'm like torn on that because I don't want to see CM Punk lose it just yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I really enjoy this match. You saw CM Punk move out of the way of a coup de grace, and he hit Finn Balor with the GTS. Balor ends up kicking out of that. He locked in the Anaconda Vice, which Finn Balor ends up getting to the rope. I did not think that... I thought CM Punk was going to like adjust it and pull him away from the rope. But CM Punk called for another GTS, and Finn Balor ends up hitting him with the sling blade. He did the shotgun dropkick twice. I don't know how many times we've seen Finn Balor do that. And then he hit the coup de grace. CM Punk kicked out of that. And then he reversed another GTS attempt with a pin, but CM Punk got out of that, and he powered Finn Balor up for another GTS, and that's when he gets the victory. And after the match, actually picks Finn Balor up, shakes his hand, and raises his arm. Maybe that's the start of something completely new with Finn Balor.
It's possible.
Given that the Judgment Day are the Judgment Day, I feel like probably likely not, but you never know.
That's true. You never know. But moving on to NXT, we kicked off with Ethan Page picking up a victory over the debuting Elio LaFleur.
LaFleur? You watched
France.
hockey for how many years?
LaFleur?
LaFleur? LaFleur, what do you mean?
LaFleur.
LaFleur?
Yeah.
I think Elio was great. I think it was the perfect first TV match for him. And I think I definitely would have been exciting to see him win the title in his debut match. But Ethan Page got his knees up for that 450, which LaFleur ends up kicking out of the pin attempt from Ethan Page. But Ethan Page, again, tries that ego's edge. LaFleur got out of that, so they definitely built him up. Kind of like Finn Balor in that match where he could have won this match. So that's why I say this was a perfect first TV match for him, because it makes him look like he could actually be there. Like he doesn't, it's not someone who shouldn't be there.
Yeah, he definitely fit in and just very entertaining.
Eventually, Ethan Page, even on the ending, he reversed a move into a powerbomb, used the trunks to get the actual win. So maybe down the line we'll see a rematch there. I don't know, but it wasn't even a clean victory for him. So, or I should say, it wasn't a clean loss. So good for LaFleur. You had Ricky Saints come out afterwards, and I guess kind of put both of them over, and Ethan Page wasn't having it, but Ricky Saints they had interactions throughout the night also, so maybe they're becoming friends or whatnot, but Ricky Saints went to do commentary for the next match.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have done this match.
Shiloh Hill picked the victory over Josh Briggs to advance in the ladder match, to be in the ladder match, and I don't know. I guess Charlotte Hill winning makes sense because... Yeah,
Shiloh winning obviously was there was no way Josh Briggs was winning.
Yeah.
And also, nice, I want to say the match itself I thought was fine. I just don't think I would have had this as the matchup. Also, I don't know what the hell Booker T was doing on commentary. But he was completely I don't want to say trashing Josh Briggs, but he was Josh Briggs needs to win because if he loses, they might fire him. And he was talking about WrestleMania season coming up and everything, and how everybody knows about the WrestleMania spring cleaning and everything. I was like, what is happening right now?
Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about, but
yeah. Calm down.
I don't know. And then, of course, after the match, Tony D'Angelo came out and attacked both of them. So.
Yeah. Next up, you had the Vanity Project pick up a victory over Chase U. This match, Vanity Project has been making a name for themselves a lot more recently on the main TV instead of just really Evolve. It was definitely a good showing for them, I think.
I would have been shocked if Vanity Project lost.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Uriah Connors and Cale Dixon, I think, look good in this match. So that's not a knock against Chase U at all, but I didn't think they were going to be the ones walking out with the victory. Maybe David Finlay shows up to NXT to break Connors away from Chase U? I don't know. But this match got chaotic. Baylor and Ricky Smokes hit that reverse, the combination reverse DDT and double stomp to get the victory on that match. Are you sick again this week? What's happening?
I don't know. I just haven't kicked this cough.
Last week I didn't hear coughing.
Oh, no, I've controlled it. I've had this cough for like 3 weeks.
You ever hear of a doctor?
Yeah, I am one.
After that match, we saw Jada Parker come out. She put Kendall Gray over. She put Lola Vice over. I almost want to say she put Blake Monroe over as well. But she said that she's the standard. The spotlight should be on her. And she spoke about the haters. She said that she obviously catches people's attention. And then the lights went out and Blake Monroe showed up and basically said she's not going to let Jada Parker stand in her way. So, obviously that's leading somewhere. But
I thought that this was a great promo by Jada Parker.
I mean, she's super over in that performance center.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. And I think that everything that happened with Mariah May, what's her gimmick?
Blake Monroe.
Everything with Blake Monroe, with her appearing and stuff like that, with demanding the spotlight and stuff. I thought that Jada Parker held her own against her abilities, held her own against Blake Monroe, which I thought was really awesome.
Yeah.
But next up, you had Shawn Legacy pick up the victory over Eli Knight to advance in that ladder match.
Good high-flying match. Both of them were impressive. We've seen Shawn Legacy more so than Knight. Knight, I think we only saw like once on TV. Well, maybe twice. They had a video package, I remember, the last time we saw him. But I did not think Eli Knight was walking out into this match and walking out as the winner, I should say. And like the other match, Tony D'Angelo attacked both of them. And then Ava had him arrested this time.
That attack was just wow. Like that was a brutal attack, no?
But also I don't know where I can't even like fathom to see where this is leading. I can't like there's like too many paths and I don't know. Because one would have assumed, because he was the only person when Obafemi relinquished the title, he was the only person out there looking at it. One would have assumed that he would have been in that ladder match.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's arrested. He's going to disappear for how many more weeks? We don't know. I don't know where this leads with Tony D'Angelo.
Yeah, I don't think that they could really keep him off TV for more than 1 week.
I don't think so.
Especially because, like you said, he just came back.
Yeah.
Wouldn't make sense. But main event of the evening, Zaruka picked up the victory over Ren, QCC, and Fatal Influence to become the number one contenders to the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships. We had TNA being represented as well in the crowd.
Yeah. Also, this was super chaotic, and I lost track of who was legal at times. Overall, though, this was a very, very, very enjoyable match, a very good match. I didn't even realize this was the main event when this match was going on. I didn't realize what time it was even. I think this episode like completely flew by. But JC we saw get involved a few times. I like that move that Zarya did. She was choking Kendall while hanging her from the middle rope. I like that move. Fallon and Zarya did a Doomsday Device together to her, and I thought that was also pretty cool. But at one point, Zarya tagged herself in, and she spears Laney and she spears Kendall. I thought that was going to lead to something between Sol Ruca and Zarya, maybe like breaking up or something, or like teasing that. Mm-hmm. So that had me like worried. Sol Ruca also ended up falling out of the ring because of, well, not because of that, but the ropes were pulled. So I thought that was going to like put it, like go into the whole will they, won't they break up. Had me really worried there. But JC got involved again. Ren Sinclair took her out, and Zarya was left to take on Fatal Influence alone. Sol Ruca ends up making the save. And she eventually hit a double Soul Snatcher on Fatal Influence. Zarya hit that F5 on Fallon Henley and got the victory there.
And that Soul Snatcher came out of nowhere. It was such a solid hit.
Yeah. But like I said, man, I was very, very worried about Zaruka in that match.
Mm-hmm.
So that is, and I would 100% recommend going out to watch that match. The women on NXT always kill it, so it's nice to see more than just the normal people talking about how great that main event was. So,
and it's great to see them killing it in a main event.
Yeah.
Unlike on AEW.
I mean, AEW does do it sometimes, but it's not like, nothing like WWE. There's no way you can argue that. Mm-mm. So that is NXT. Moving over to SmackDown. Sami Zayn opened the show, and they were in Montreal. He hyped up Saturday night's main event. You had Trick Williams interrupt him, and he said that they're not on the same level, and then he ran him down. He brought up how Sami's had title shots before, and he's lost. They kept going. Damian Priest showed up, and said that Trick Williams has stepped up to every single person in the locker room except for him. He's not run his mouth to him because he thinks Trick is scared of him. And then Trick attacks Sami to prove that he's not scared of Damian Priest. And Damian Priest attacked Trick, and then Sami ripped Damian Priest off of Trick to go after Trick. And Trick ends up sending Damian Priest into Sami Zayn. I'll put a pin in all of that. You had Carmelo Hayes pick up the victory over Ilya Dragunov to retain the U.S. Championship. This was another great match. Dragunov at one point went for the coast to coast, which Carmelo Hayes tried to counter with the first 48. Ilya Dragunov held on to that and countered it with the powerbomb, and I thought that was awesome. Later on, Carmelo Hayes hit that suplex cutter on the apron. Even later on, The Miz got involved, and Carmelo Hayes was able to hit the first 48 to get the victory there. He didn't see The Miz in that segment, though. You had a sit-down interview with Cody Rhodes, which was interrupted by Jacob Fatu. And it didn't get physical, and also, I feel like it didn't really sell me on Saturday night's main event, but it was a very well done segment with Jacob Fatu. And then later on, Drew McIntyre came out and he addressed Jacob Fatu and Cody Rhodes. He reminded Cody that if he loses the Royal Rumble, he goes back to the back of the line. And he also addressed Randy Orton, Damian Priest, Trick Williams, and Sami Zayn, where I feel like he spent most of the time trashing Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn also spoke to Damian Priest later on. And Priest, I guess, warned Sami Zayn not to get involved in the main event. You have Damian Priest versus Trick as the main event. Jade Cargill picked up the victory over Chelsea Green. Chelsea, backstage beforehand, asked Jordynne Grace to join the group. And she only agreed to go ringside with her when she found out that she was about to be facing Jade Cargill. And before the match began, Chelsea attacked Jade. When the match was actually going on, Jade was distracted with Jordynne Grace. So that allowed for Chelsea to gain a little bit of control. I feel like this is the most offense that we've seen somebody get on Jade in a while. But she ends up kicking Alba Fire off the apron. Chelsea Green gets hit with Jaded, and that's the end of the match. Jordynne Grace afterwards said that she's going to be in the Royal Rumble. And after she wins, she's coming for that championship. But she also challenged Jade to fight her right then and there. Jade blew her a kiss and left. So I don't think Jordynne Grace will be the one to dethrone Jade Cargill. I don't think Jordynne Grace will be winning the Royal Rumble either. But I assume we're going to be seeing that match soon. After that, we had the MFT pick up the victory over the Wyatt Six to become the new tag team champions. I think the match was fine, nothing crazy, but Tonga Loa got involved, which had Eric Rowan take care of him, and JC Mateo. And then Tala Tonga made his way out with the lantern, took Eric Rowan out, and then Uncle Howdy locked the mandible claw on Tala Tonga, only to have Solo Sikoa hit the Samoan spike on him. Solo, behind the referee's back, used the lantern on Dexter Lumis and they got the victory off of that. I think it's cool that Tama Tonga became champion. Where this leads to, the next feud, I do not know. Obviously, it has to continue because they still have the lantern. Backstage, AJ Styles spoke with Nick Aldis. And Nick Aldis questioned AJ about putting his career on the line, and AJ said, yes, I'm sure. And Nick Aldis brought in Shinsuke Nakamura to talk to AJ Styles, and Nakamura wanted AJ Styles to prove that he's still phenomenal, and to do that by facing him at Saturday Night's Main Event. So, spoiler alert, when we talk about Saturday Night's Main Event in a bit, that's your fourth match. I'm assuming we would just both pick AJ Styles regardless. You had Nathan Fraser, and also I'm pumped to see that match. I think that's pretty cool. You had Nathan Fraser pick up the victory over Johnny Gargano. Ciampa, unfortunately, announced that he's leaving WWE. So that sucks. As far as his match goes, I enjoyed it. I think Nathan Fraser is super fast in the ring. That frog splash I thought was dope. It was like halfway across the ring. Candice LeRae, though, got involved when Nathan Fraser went for the Phoenix Splash. Johnny Gargano moved out of the way, and then Axiom put the Axiom mask that Johnny Gargano had stolen on Candice LeRae backwards, so she couldn't see, and she accidentally clocked Johnny Gargano. That led to Nathan Fraser getting the victory, and Axiom had the mask in his hands, but Candice stole the mask afterwards. We had a Kit Wilson interview, and he called Matt Cardona toxic, and he said that he needs to clean up the locker room with men like Matt and Jacob Fatu. And then Matt walked in and questioned what his problem is with him, and Cardona said that if he wants to step up, next time do it in the ring. So I can only imagine that next week we're going to be seeing Kit Wilson versus Matt Cardona. You had Julia and Kiana James pick up the victory over Nia Jax, Lash Legend, and Charlexa to become number one contenders for the tag team titles. I think we desperately need the U.S. champion out of the tag division. I said that last week. I've been saying that for weeks. Also, this match was kind of messy, unfortunately. I didn't like when Kiana James tried to suplex Charlotte, and Lash was like, let me show you how it's done, and then went to also suplex Charlotte, and they just stayed in the suplex position instead of landing the suplex, only to have Flair count for a reversal into a DDT. And then later on, Nia Jax had Charlotte in a Samoan drop on the middle rope and had to wait for Kiana James to hit a powerbomb. That was quite messy. I think they would have been great spots, but the timing was weird. Even Lash Legend hitting that big boot on Alexa Bliss when she was waiting for that Sister Abigail DDT. But Lash ends up hitting the Lash extension on Bliss. Flair speared Lash Legend, and then Kiana James jumped on Alexa Bliss to get that victory. And then Kiana James and Julia were interviewed afterwards backstage. It's like the only saving grace as to why the U.S. champion is in the tag division. Because at least Kiana James spelled it out, saying that she wants Julia to be a triple champion. So at least there's that aspect of that. But truly, I don't think that's going to happen. And we need the U.S. champion to be in U.S. championship matches, singles matches, not tag matches. So we'll see what happens there. In the main event, we saw, I want to say Trick Williams pick up the victory over Damian Priest via DQ. I don't know if the match was just thrown out or what. But Sami Zayn did make his way out ringside. Trick Williams controlled most of the match. And I mean, I liked the main event. I liked when both of them went for that Trouble in Paradise and they missed. It led for both of them to be down and out. Eventually, they go outside the ring again. Trick Williams tosses Damian Priest into Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn attacks Trick Williams. That causes the DQ. And then that led to Sami and Damian Priest fighting. It ended with Trick Williams on top until he ate an RKO. And then it seemed like Sami Zayn and Randy Orton were going to be cool. Randy Orton RKO'd Sami Zayn. Now I don't know about my predictions for Saturday night's main event, but speaking of, that was SmackDown. Moving over to do predictions for Saturday night's main event. Right now, at the time of recording, there's only 3 matches announced, so obviously, I mean, you're listening to this post-SmackDown. Something could have been announced, but we're just going to pick for the 3 matches that were announced. You have the Fatal 4-Way match to determine the number 1 contender to that WWE Championship match at the Royal Rumble against Cody Rhodes. Randy Orton, Trick Williams, Damian Priest, and Sami Zayn. I gotta say it's Randy Orton. Given that it's Montreal, it's also very possible that it's Sami Zayn, but I think it's going to be Randy Orton.
I think because of the location of where Royal Rumble is, that it's going to be Randy Orton. I think that they probably want to see him in a matchup.
But also, like, if Sami Zayn were to be in that spot, like, you have him lose another WWE title match? Come on.
I mean, yeah, I would go with Randy Orton on that one.
Tag team match. WWE Women's Tag Team titles are on the line. Rio defending the titles against the Judgment Day. Liv Morgan, Roxanne Perez. I'm going to stick with Rio here.
I'm going to go with Rio as well. I think Rio comes out with the win. Singles matchup.
You give Liv Morgan a loss right before the Royal Rumble, and then boom, she wins the Royal Rumble?
I don't think she's going to win the Royal Rumble. I don't know.
Well, that's my pick.
I have to go with the entrance, but
I
don't think that she really is going to win the Royal Rumble. And Roxanne Perez could still eat the pin.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say Liv Morgan's winning the Royal Rumble.
All right.
I mean, I might as well stick with LA Knight and Liv Morgan. I don't know. And also, I said Cody Rhodes. I meant Drew McIntyre. My bad. My bad to Drew McIntyre. And then we are going to be seeing Cody Rhodes in action at Saturday night's main event, taking on Jacob Fatu. I feel like Jacob Fatu needs to win this match, but I also don't have faith in that happening.
I'm going to go with...
I'm going to say Fatu.
You know what? I'm going with Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, I'm going to say Jacob Fatu.
Yeah. I'm going Jacob Fatu.
So those are our predictions for Saturday night's main event. Going to take a quick little break right now, and I'll be right back here on Markin Out.
This is Aaron Sheik. You listen to the Markin Out.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Markin Out episode 781. Moving back to TNA Genesis from last week. I didn't watch it, but I'll run down the results really quickly. You had Stax pick up the victory over Eric Young, BDF, and KJ Orso to retain. KJ Orso pulling double duty that night with GCW. You had Tessa Blanchard and Milla Moore pick up the victory over Indy Hartwell and Vicious Vicky. AJ Francis picked up the victory over Rich Swann. Mustafa Ali picked up the victory over Elijah. Eddie Edwards picked up the victory over JDC. This was Dango's retirement match. He had a nice send-off from the locker room. I feel like TNA is not the right place to retire. No offense to TNA, but I feel like he deserved a bigger send-off. Not that what he got was bad or anything, but I feel like it could have been bigger. You had Ryan Nemeth pick up the victory over Mara Sade. Lei Ying Lee picked up the victory over Zarya to retain the championship. The Hardys defeated the Righteous to retain the titles. Joe Hendry picked up the victory over Cedric Alexander and Moose. And then in the main event, you had Mike Santana pick up the victory over Kazarian in a Texas death match to retain the championship. Dick Nemeth was the special guest referee. Moving to Impact, you had Carlos Silva open the show, put over the show from last week. Cedric Alexander was in the first match, picked up the victory over Moose. Moose took a nasty back bump on the steps at Genesis, so that played into this match. And Cedric at one point suplexed Moose outside on the floor, and then ends up reversing a powerbomb into a pin to get the victory over Moose. Mike Santana had a promo. He played a message from his father, that his father had left right before, or sometime before he passed away. And he spoke about last week and said AJ Styles passed the torch to him. He also said that he earned his spot and he belongs there as champion. So that was a good promo from Mike Santana. You had Indy Hartwell pick up the victory over M by Elegance. I don't think this should have happened. I need to see a newly crowned champion be built up as champion. And she's tag team champion. Indy Hartwell's not really in the tag division. What does that do to build up the Elegance brand versus Zaruka? I don't think it does anything. Yeah, the Elegance brand get involved. M worked on Indy's foot due to something that happened at TNA Genesis, where I think Indy accidentally stepped on her foot, if I'm not mistaken. The match, though, I thought was decent. I really don't have any complaints other than the fact that I don't think that should have happened due to the different sort of, I don't want to say divisions because there's no real divisions, but I don't think that should have happened because I don't think it showcased the tag team titles. You had Heather attack Indy afterwards, and Ash by Elegance broke it up. And then Heather pushed her, and it looked like Ash was about to square up. You had Lei Ying Lee and Zaya Brookside run down. And then Ash attacked Lee, and the Elegance brand joined in. So it seems like Ash is medically cleared again, so that's a good thing. And she'll be going after the Knockouts Championship that she never lost. You had Mance Warner, Hometown Man, Ryan Nemeth, Order 4, The System, Rich Swann, Eric Young, AJ Francis, Steve Macklin, and the returning Trey Miguel participate in Feast or Fired. You had Hometown Man get one of the briefcases, and then Eric Young unmasked him and ended up taking a case. Steve Macklin got a case, Trey got a case, and Brian Myers sacrificed himself so Eddie could get the case. He tossed it to AJ Francis, who was standing in front of him. And then he drop kicked the briefcase into AJ, and he took off with it. So those are the 4 winners of that match. I was going to assume that Hometown Man was getting fired there. But I don't know, man. I saw somebody say that Steve Macklin just re-signed with TNA. But if he's the one that's fired, then hopefully it's to NXT where he's going and not anywhere else. Eric Young is a possibility where he just turns into a producer for TNA. I don't know. I can't fathom who's getting fired. I have to assume it's Eddie Edwards getting the title shot, though. Yet Elena Black come out, and she said that she's the only knockout that people need to pay attention to. She put herself over. She said that she's the one who should be next in line for the Knockouts Championship. I don't think that's going to happen, but I believe we'll see her first match next week. Backstage, Ariana Grace apologized to Santino and asked for his forgiveness, which he forgave her. I thought more was going to happen in that segment. I don't know where that's going to lead to, but I can't see that being the end of it. I feel like we're going to see them as in Ariana Grace and Stax beat Santino down or something. Yeah, the main event, Jeff Hardy picked up the victory over Mustafa Ali. I feel like this is a bit different than M vs. Indy, but it's similar in the way that Jeff Hardy is tag team champion facing a singles competitor. But this match was pretty even. Order 4 outside the ring got involved, or tried to, and then Matt tried to stop them, tried to fight them off, and Agent Zero took him down. The twist of fate off the apron onto the steel steps I thought was crazy. And then they both beat the 10 count, like just in time to get back into the ring. Tasha Steelz got involved, and again, Jeff Hardy hit that twist of fate with her on Ali's back. Mustafa Ali grabbed one of the tag team titles. Matt was able to grab that away from him, and then he took out Order 4. Jeff reversed Mustafa Ali's neckbreaker attempt with another twist of fate. He missed the swanton. Mustafa Ali went up to the top. He hit the 450 splash. Jeff Hardy kicked out of that. And then Elijah showed up. And that allowed for Jeff Hardy to hit another twist of fate. And then he actually hit the swanton and got the victory there. And we saw the Righteous speak afterwards. Maybe they're not done with the Hardys yet. I don't know where that's going to lead to. And to close out this episode of Impact, you had the System come out, where JDC thanked the crowd for his send-off at Genesis, and then he announced that he handpicked a replacement for himself in the System, and announced that Bear Bronson will be taking his place. And I was very happy with that. I thought he's a perfect replacement, and I hope that Bear Bronson does big things in TNA. And then JDC hugged all the members of the System, and he got to Eddie Edwards. Eddie Edwards low-blowed him. And then Bear and Brian beat down Moose. Cedric Alexander ran down to chase them off. So you would think. He had a chair in his hand. Moose is in front of him. I was like, oh, well, we know what's about to happen there. Hopefully that's happening. And then Cedric Alexander smacked Moose with the chair. There's a new version of the System. Alicia Edwards, by the way, didn't seem to know any of this, and she was not fond of this happening, I guess. I didn't expect any of that. So I enjoyed that closing segment. You have Brian Myers, Cedric Alexander, Eddie Edwards, and Bear Bronson as this new group of the System. This episode, I think, ran so much more smooth than last week's episode. So hopefully we keep up with that, or they keep up with that, I should say. I'm not part of the company. But that is results for TNA Impact. Hey, Brandon, got any shout-outs?
This is Droopy Dog, and you're listening to Brandon's shout-outs.
His and Hers gets the first shout-out. Have you heard anything about this or no?
Yeah, I heard that apparently it's something that I do have to watch on Netflix. I was going to, but I wasn't sure if I should, but apparently I should.
It's a brand new show. Just came out. John Bernthal and Tessa Thompson. I like the show. There are people who are like, this is the worst show ever. The writing was sucked. This sucked. This sucked. That sucked. Blah, blah, blah. It's a mystery thriller limited series, which is based off of a novel by the same name. Typically not my sort of show, but there's a murder investigation where Bernthal plays a detective, Thompson plays a news anchor. They used to be together, and a bunch of secrets come out, and I thought I had the killer figured out pretty early on, but then there was like a big twist at the end where I didn't see that part coming, so I was very overall happy with this show. It doesn't, obviously it says limited series. You don't need a second series. It wraps up pretty definitively. So I would recommend watching that. I'm also going to give a shout out to Ponies, which is a brand new show on Peacock. Have you heard about this show?
No.
Spy thriller, like I said, on Peacock, starring Haley Lou Richardson and Amelia Clark. It's set in 1977 Moscow, and they play secretaries who work at the American Embassy, and they then become CIA operatives because I guess because of their husbands. Both of their husbands end up dead. I don't think there's a second season announced yet, but I really do hope there is, because I very much so enjoyed this show. I watched it in like a day, I think, which is almost crazy to say. But it ends on a huge cliffhanger, so it better get renewed for a second season. I really liked how it looks like it was actually filmed in the 70s, but still current. And honestly, the only thing that I could say that I'm questioning from this, timeline-wise, there's a concert that happens, and I think it's off by a few years. And I don't want to spoil the show or anything, but I don't believe the artist that is on this show performed in the year that this is set.
Ooh.
Because it is set in 1977. The artist, I'm almost certain. I'm like 99.9% sure that the artist, should I just say the artist?
Go for it.
It's a pretty big concert in Moscow, I guess. I mean, if you're into music, it's Elton John. Elton John performed 1979 in Moscow, not 1977. So that's like the only thing I could question timeline-wise. But I really enjoyed the show, and I think Haley Lou Richardson and Emilia Clarke work extremely well together as a pair on TV. So I would say check that out as well. Moving back to Netflix, my last shout out goes to WWE Unreal, which came out with its second season. I think it's hilarious how worked up the IWC and people get over this program. Honestly, I just think it's just one big work shoot. I believe there are enough real things in this to make everybody think this is real. But I also don't believe that it's 100% unscripted. And I still enjoy watching it. I like the storylines that it follows. We get to see stuff from Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins, R-Truth, Naomi, Penta, Chelsea Green, Jelly Roll. And then it sets up for season 3 with John Cena's final run. So season 3 for Unreal is coming out in the summer. For the documentary aspect of it, I think it's very enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, this sort of stuff doesn't really entertain me, so I'm not gonna. I feel like it's all scripted anyways,
but I don't think it's all scripted. I just like the documentary aspect of it. I think is like 100% shoot. I don't need to see inside of a writer's room to see like, oh, look at that, Brie Bella's name is on the board. Like I don't care about that to see. Like it just doesn't affect me there. I just overall watch it for the documentary purpose.
Yeah.
Because there are actual documentary scenes in there. Like they show, like it's not a scripted scene when Chelsea Green is at the new house where they're building her and Matt's house. So I think behind the scenes aspects of the WWE Unreal is cool. But those are my shout outs. Now it's time for
Moment of the week.
That is right, our Mark Out Moment of the Week. What do you got?
Ooh, I got absolutely nothing for this week. What about you?
Well, I will say, I said it before, Santos Escobar's return in AAA I thought was awesome. Not everybody agreed. I thought so, though. Also, on WWE Unreal, they showed, when they were showcasing Penta, they used footage from newer AAA events, which we haven't seen on WWE programming yet. So we had footage from Pentagon Jr. versus Mystices in the finals of the Rumble at Heroes Immortales in 2014. So I thought that was really cool, especially if you don't know Mystices, it's Sin Cara or Mystico now. So seeing that on present day WWE footage TV is like interesting. They also showed footage from the Mask vs. Mask match from Triple Mania 30 between Pentagon Jr. and Villano 4, which is a match that I think everybody should watch. They also showed from 2018 between Pentagon Jr. teaming with LA Park versus Psycho Clown and Pagano. And then they also have randomly footage from Lucha Underground. Chelsea Green talks about her match with Penta. I feel like it was included because Chelsea Green broke her nose with Zelina Vega and they showcased that, so it shows how tough Chelsea Green is. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that WWE was going to be able to feature Lucha Underground footage. I don't know if they've done that before, but I wasn't expecting to see that, so I thought that was really cool. So I marked out over that stuff, and overall, those are my mark out moments of the week. This is episode 781. Thank you so much for tuning in. You could follow us on Twitter at Markin Out, at BTTG161 on all platforms. Chris Sweendog, SeamSween85, David PTTPT, Facebook.com/Markin Out. YouTube and Instagram are Markin Out 11. ProWrestlingTees.com/Markin Out if you'd like to support us in that way. At Markin Out on TikTok. Rate, review, subscribe, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, markinout.com. And we wish you best of luck in your future endeavors. Have a fantastic week.